All right, so we get this is ridiculous. We actually just did the Timo draft in the previous one, our last draft in yesterday's stream, and then Rek'Sai was who we drafted in our Friday stream, and so I guess that brings us back to Twisted Fate here. We'll see what comes about with him. There's a few different ways I like to draft Twisted Fate, either like these really aggressive decks. Lots of ones and two drops with like Pull Sharks, the one cost Plunder guy, the Fortune Croaker, and then I like to just spit out as much of our hand as quickly as possible, and then just flood the board with card draw. I don't think this kind of deck is going to be it's serviceable now, but I don't think it's going to be something that can reliably take you to 7 wins. There's just too many 4 health units running around now. The strategy doesn't work well against Riven. It doesn't work well against the Shyvana decks. So I don't have a lot of faith in that being strong. It might be strong after the next patch when the appearance bonuses fall off, but as for now, I don't think it's that good. This can also move over into sea monsters. That is a little easier to pull off with the first of the draw card pull as opposed to the smash and grab, but that's probably what we'll look to draft with Twisted Fate would be sea monsters, or this is a pretty reasonable set of cards to just fall back to being a supporting set. Twisted Fate's a fantastic supporting champion. Pull Shark is also a great early game play. So definitely not a requirement that we play towards this early game strategy with Twisted Fate, and nothing here really helps that out. We don't have a Shadow Isles champion, so we can't just go into Sea Monsters. We just have to kind of like hope that Sea Monsters cards show up. I'm looking at this, and oh man, cat's going bonkers. And I think that we could either just draft towards Ezreal, which has a lot of potential if we can find a set of units that can target. I usually don't want to play Ezreal unless we're playing Freylord or Noxus, but I could potentially see that working. Just not a lot of Bilgewater help for Ezreal, or we could come over here and look at this Katarina. And I think the go wide strategy with Katarina could potentially work if we're thinking of like, okay, let's like the two strategies I could see with this happening is if we go wide with Twisted Fate, we go back to that early game thing we were talking about where we try to get a lot of width, just with all of the card draw units, and then use things like Arena Battlecaster, or we could just try and stall the game out and try to get together like the Legion Marauders. It's kind of tough to want to pull off the Marauder deck when you don't start with any, but that would be some potential there. So this is tough. This is close. I wonder if we could get created cards for the gearheads. I'm not sure how that would come about. Counterfeit copies is so bad as well. But all right, let's go with this Katarina. I think that's going to bring us the most success. We could, of course, just pivot to Leona and ignore that we took a Bilgewater pack. I mean, God, maybe that is the way to actually go about this. Because I'm not really convincing myself on either of these strategies. I think we probably do just have to take the Leona and then ignore Bilgewater. So let's jump in. She started with a Shield Bearer anyways, and so that's a pretty good way to go about it. I didn't talk too much about drafting Leona here, but the kind of like the big thing with her is your kind of like tier 1 choices are the early game units that have Daybreak. So your Solari Shield Bearers, your Solari Soldiers, and then the Stunbird. Those are kind of your most important picks to be taking. Immediately after that, you have to start taking at least one Sunburst. You would be okay with multiples, but the first one is supremely important to take. This is kind of a scary deck to be running into this 4-bat because we can't burst speed or fast speed interact with any of our opponent's units. So if they go and put a Riven Sword on something, like Sunburst is kind of our only answer to it. And so we have to kind of like hope to dodge those decks and draw a removal in the right order and stuff, but at least having something is better than nothing. And so the Sunburst is kind of like the tier 1.5. And then after that, it's just kind of like curve management. We do need to find some late game, but this deck is really good at having enough late game between Ravoon and random invokes and Eclipse Dragons, and so it's mainly about just not dying in the early game and then finding some way to interact with what your opponent's doing. But we got the tier 1 and the tier 1.5 in that pack with the Sunburst and the Shield Bearer. But these cards, look at these. These are awful. This Spiral Stairs Wish is probably the actual, like, I'm trying to think. I mean, you can definitely piece together worse cards. Like, you can put together packs that have uh, like Absorb Souls in it and packs that have Mushroom Clouds in it, but it's really tough to get like a double dose of worse cards than Spiral Stairs Wish. This is pretty tough. And then over here, of course, we don't want this Spiral Stairs Blessing of Targon either, so we're just kind of stuck with the Crackshot Corsair Pilfered Goods here. Hopefully, we can just kind of come in and trade those away as needed. All right, here we go. Another tier 1 pick in the Sunhawk along with the Zenith Blade. As far as Zenith Blades go, I want 3. I think I would rather have 2 than 4, but 3 is kind of the magic number. You definitely want to draw these and have them in your arsenal. You just don't want to be drawing multiple copies of them. Okay. So a little interesting. It's just out of all of these cards, the one I want the most is Jagged Butcher, but Golden Narwhal is pretty horrible. Over here to the right, I don't like Spacey Sketchers unless we have ways to generate cards. And so traditionally, this would have been through gems. They've kind of taken Mountain Goat almost completely out of Expedition, but if we don't have like gems, or we don't have Reforges, or we don't have Puff Cap generators, I don't really like the Spacey Sketcher. So I'm just going to come over here and take the 2-drop along with the interactive spell. It's a bad 2-drop and a slow spell, but I guess I should say an expensive spell and not a slow spell, but it's just kind of the best of the worst here. Okay, kind of interesting. I want the Mountain Scryer. We don't have any late game up to this point, and so we do have to start, just picking up something. Slippery Wave Rider's okay late game, but I'm really not interested in having a bunch of draw 2s in our deck. We tend to be able to just generate enough value between, having random Mountain Scryers, having Ravoons, having Eclipse Dragons. We don't need to be drawing rando cards out of our opponent's deck. It's just getting kind of heavy on Blessing of Targons here. And we will have to watch the amount of Bilgewater we have now if we're going to be picking up multiple invokes. Okay, then these cards, again, kind of turdy. This is kind of a function of being stuck with the Bilgewater champion, as there's not a whole lot of cards that we want outside of a very few specific sets of decks. And so we're basically just like, okay, we took a Leona pack, just don't show us any Bilgewater because we don't want any of that mess. But with these, I think we're okay to take the Pale Cascade Pilfered Goods. Maybe actually we just take the Black Market Merchant, Make It Rain, have at least an interactive card with the Make It Rain. Then we can come in and hopefully like trade away Pilfered Goods and Slotbot, get our allegiance in order. Okay, I'm behind that one now. Now that I thought about it a little bit more, these are awful packs. I mean, there may be some point that we should just be taking these Slippery Wave Riders. It's typically so easy to have good late game with Leona, and it feels like it's been a long time since we've seen a Daybreak card. But the Sunforger is what we're gonna have to take here. He's at least pretty good at just stalling out the game and buying us a bunch of time. Okay, well here's a Moondreamer. It's not an ideal set of cards. Both of these are very medium quality, but Trouble Bubbles are horrible. We don't need Gifts from Beyond. And then we're the same problem with these Bilgewater cards. They just are nowhere near on theme with what we're trying to do. Okay, and then this is a decision. The Shield Bearer is of course one of our top picks, but our late game is also abysmally bad, where we could come in here and pick up the Mind Splitter and the Fused Firebrand. This is tough, like, because in general, I would just say pick up the Shield Bearer. I'm not a huge fan of Heavens Aligned, but it can kind of get the job done if necessary. But I think we just need the late game cards here. I think this is kind of one of these spots to where hopefully we'll just be able to like trade those away at some point, and not actually need them. But here's what I'm curious will start to happen after we pick up those dragons. If the dragons packs will start showing up, it's like, well, maybe we could end up getting a Eclipse Dragon that way. But here I am actually going to swing back to Bilgewater for these. I do want to pick up these vulnerable giving cards. Just have a little bit of interactivity here. Okay, good deal. The double Daybreak cards over here on the left. I think at this stage, the Priestess is just more important than the Zenith Blade. We do need the ways to help kind of close out these games. I do want more Zenith Blades. We definitely need to pick up some, but the Invoke unit just feels a little bit more important here. This is a super easy take with the Stomper and the White Flame Protector. We just don't want any of these other cards. Okay. Well, it's a high cost to pick up the Soldier, but we are going to be doing everything we can to try and trade out these Bilgewater cards. As far as the Bilgewater goes, I was hoping to hang on to Yeben Warned and Hired Gun, and then of course we're still just going to have to like hang on to our Twisted Fate, and then the rest of it can just go. Like the Pole Shark is an acceptable unit. It's just not one that we like really need. But all these other cards are a bit of turds. Even like the Make It Rain, our deck can't take a whole lot of advantage of. So, Solari Soldier it is. But I mean, this is serviceable. These Leona decks have a bit of high roll to it as far as the draft goes, anyways. You can definitely find yourself. The problem we've been running into recently with these is just not having enough top end. Like no, and the last time we drafted Leona, we didn't find a Ravoon until like win 4, win 5. It was super deep into the draft, and he's kind of the key to these decks to making your late game churn. And so it's a bit of a struggle, but it seems to kind of fix itself if you're able to win the first game and get a second Leona in your deck. All right, well, this hand is not exciting. We'll just hang on to our 1-drop, make sure we have something to play, get moving with the rest of it. All right, well, we got something to play, so these aren't in the proper order. This would be nice if we were on the even attacks and we could play the Pole Shark on 1, just kind of ignore the card draw and then play the Merchant on 2. What's our chances of actually hitting a card we can play? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? 9 out of 30 something? 9 out of 25? That feels kind of low. Like roughly a 1 in 3 chance. Of course, we would have hit, of course. This is okay. Oh man. Andy hits the lurk naturally. Must be nice. Must be nice. Interesting. Okay, you can have the last breath. I definitely on board with just getting all of his units taken out of here in a deck that has Vigio. I have to assume that they're probably more along the lines of a Vigio deck as opposed to being a Lurkers deck. Just given that it's so hard to just draft around Pike without having a Sharma faction, but we'll see. And kind of my idea here was like maybe he was just throwing away his Warden's Prey because he doesn't have a play. And so there is a world where he just doesn't have a play. I mean, I know that picking up the random last breath thing, he could hit Cursed Keeper, so I'm thinking that we still have potential to get an attack in here, but by no means guaranteed. But yeah, to kind of like cycle back about that board against these Vigio decks and the Slayers kind of decks, I do like to just completely keep their boards as empty as possible. So if they want to play Blighted Caretakers, or if they want to play just any of the you have to sacrifice a unit cards, that they have to both play a unit and that sacrifice card in the same turn. But I mean, seeing the Ripper's Bay, I guess they are just playing Lurkers here. So hopefully we're off to a pretty good start. I mean, he did hit that singular lurk, but Ike, ugh.
Our mountain groves are full of dangers, but I know them all. I smell panic.
Just hard pass on blocking this. We'll just sit around and gain the health from our Broadback Protector. But we do. I mean, we have all the late game package here. We can do quite a bit of work if he's going to be slow coming out here. Ooh, interesting. We can definitely take down this pike. It's like I was trying to think, what he could potentially do that would. Will we hit? These cards all suck. Let's take the Moonglow. What he could potentially do to win in combat with this pike if we blocked with Fused Firebrand. There's not any like real good options. He'd have to give it Ephemeral out of Shadow Isles with Mark of the Isles, or have a strike based spell or something. None of that seems like it has a lot of potential here. None of this is particularly scary. We're gonna take a bit of damage, but it's not gonna be a game ender. Nice. Then when did this thing die? All equal to the amount healed. Cool. So I thought that this was going to go away. I thought it functioned like that elusive unit that just deals damage to itself every turn. But cool. We can definitely get something going here. I think we just have to add the Sunforger. We're not going to gain any health, but I don't think that's a big deal. Interesting. All right. Well, we gotta spend the blessing at Targon here. Feels pretty good if he's gonna throw his unit in front of the Firebrand. He can't target the Firebrand with anything, so I think this has to be successful in taking down Pike. Now we just need to kind of like wait a turn until we get the Mind Splitter on board. Sure. Of course, that feels about right. Let's just go ahead and throw away the protector. It's gonna fall off at some point. This feels like he might be having a make it rain or something. Pretty aggressive just throwing that Snapjaw Swarm onto this board though. Missed again. Okay. We're not gonna have a good opportunity to play this. We're just gonna have to throw it down once the turn comes back to us. I don't think we want to just sit around and like wait. Atrocity. Oh boy. Oh boy, I did not see that one coming. Okay. Well, we can certainly just take a 6-hit here. That's definitely not a problem. Right. So how much of a better board can we get than them? I mean, they only have the one card here. And we don't have a lot of good ones just to add. So I'm just gonna open. See if we can't get something off of the black market merchant. I just don't want to be like adding all of these 2/2s to the board and then opponent plays a 3/3 and then we can't attack with anything other than the dragon. I want to get this big punch in and then maybe be able to Zenith Blade next turn. there's our lethal. There it is. I don't think we just want to like immediately go for it, but we do have this like Zenith Blade onto the Mind Splitter plus Atrocity play.
I'll become who I was always meant to be.
Don't you see your face in her stars?
Didn't suspect we'd be making Atrocity plays here. That's awesome. Uh-oh, it's a good thing we didn't go all in on this. we didn't know about the health potential there. But cool, this game's still just done, but good deal. Definitely done. Okay, so yeah, the only thing on this combat, I want to give the White Flame Protector the bonus health. You have to assume he's going to put the 4/3 in front of the White Flame, the 3/3 in front of our next biggest unit, and then he's either going to have like a Vengeance for the Mind Splitter or have to block the Mind Splitter. So at least get to protect our two big units this way. Did draw the Vengeance. There it is. He gets to see it. He gets to see the Atrocity. All right. All right. The best black market merchant we're going to have today. Let's see. We're just taking the Leona pack. At least it's got a shield bearer in it. I guess there's also a world where I could see just taking Aurelion Soul, but I mean we're so close to just having all the tools for the Daybreak deck. I mean at the top end we have the One Eye, we have the Morning Light, we have the Sunburst. We're starting to get together a collection of 2s. I think this is like our 3rd shield bearer. So we'll have 5 of the 2s, only 1 of the Invoke. And so it's like we need to pick up more Invokes, and then we need to pick up Ravoons. And like so we're like close. We're almost there. Just need some good trades presented to us. Whew, okay. Zeds, of course, always scary. As we were talking about Sunbursts, we have problem with Zeds. We have problem with like Ribbon Swords. Anything that requires us to just kind of like deal with something. Deal with, I should say, I should get a little more concise in that. Just deal with something with more than stats, right? We're pretty good at just throwing stats on a board. We're not good if we have to, play a Mystic Shot or win a combat with a trick or something. Okay. Definitely happy to see our opponent just playing a card to predict. This is an open. We're never getting an attack in with the Priestess.
These are my streets.
Okay.
I will find a future for Acacia.
What do we got here? We got the choices between all the good ones. To me, it comes down to do we either want Fallen Comet or Meteor Shower? I mean, Written in the Stars can be okay. We're guaranteed to draw Leona with it, but I think we just need the removal spells with this style of hand. I'm just going to go with the cheaper one in the Meteor Shower. I think, right? Yeah, none of his champions are particularly intimidating outside of Zed. Clean up this board a bit. also works pretty well with Twisted Fate. We want to chain together the AoEs.
If it ain't my favorite time-traveling genius, punk buddy.
Well, I'd be weirded out if I wasn't. Clad in shining sunlight.
Okay. Shield Bearer might be enough to shut down this attack. He's definitely not attacking with Echo after doing that. Alright, I think we just wanna bring it here. He's gonna get like one good block, right, with his Kahiri, but his other blocks are terrible. Okay with this. And then hopefully we can just do some cleanup work later with the meteor shower. It's always scary taking these boards and trying to get opens with them. Tempted to just gold card here. It's like I want to be adding Twisted Fate just to kind of like get his thing going. It doesn't seem like our opponent can really interact with him, but I think it should just take down Echo, right? If it's going to hit his strongest unit, these both have the same stats. Or I guess they both have the same attack. Then they both have the same health, and so after those two, it should look at mana cost. So he's a 4 instead of a 3. I think this will just hit Echo.
Never lost a fair game. Or play dead in
Yeah. Look at that. Look at me. Look at me knowing how rules interaction works. That's not the way it usually goes. I want to play the White Flame Protector. It shuts down his board completely, and then also leaves us with the mana to add Meteor Showers if we want. So we should be able to just do the same thing next turn. Now we can add Fused Firebrand to the board, and then if we need to, we can start playing Meteor Showers. But ideally, we'll find ourselves in a spot where we can, excuse me, we can still attack with Twisted Fate. All of these attacks look good. I think I'm even. Let's just send everybody, right? We have all the cleanup tools between Meteor Shower and Make It Rain, so I'm still even happy with like blocks onto Solari Priestess. I think we can clean up quite a bit of this. But these spots tend to be a little awkward, right? I don't want to just be spending Meteor Shower on this board when opponent has 6 mana. It's too easy for us to play like Meteor Shower on Zed and then have him have a protective spell.
These are my streets.
Yeah, he's got something lined up here. Something's about to happen. Time Wander, okay. Double Time Wander. How does this board end? I mean, without playing any spells, this looks pretty good for us. It's okay. I don't feel like he clicked on those cards as how he wanted. Maybe he's playing on mobile or something. Seems very odd that a point of damage went to the Priestess. Okay, well. So it's a little awkward to have to play this thing into no blockers, but that is what it is. Man, that's lame. What a lame-o. I guess that worked out pretty well for opponent.
We're wasting time. Acacia needs
I think he thought it did too. The Time Wander? Alright, so how do we want to deal with this now? I mean, this is probably finally our point to get Meteor Showers going, but let's start with the Scryer. So he just missed. Standard.
Now is the time.
I've practiced long enough. Now I must act.
Okay, let's see where this gets us.
Witness glory.
Coming in for the values, huh? Okay, works for me. There we go. I don't know if that previous black market merchant's going to be the best one anymore. Now that we have a million cards that we can draw off of this one, off this Make It Rain and the Double Pilfer. But where are we at here? 4, 8, 11. So we can play everything. So let's just start with the Broadback Protector. Okay, cool. All right, beautiful, beautiful. Get to pick up Ravoon. So, getting those upgrades. Still want to get some of these Bilgewater cards out of here, but Ravoon is the one of the most important pickups for us. I always describe Ravoon in these Leona decks as like the kind of like branching tree of questions. Like does this Leona deck have Ravoon in it? Like that's kind of like the tier 1 question, and then you have the Leona decks without Ravoon, and those are just trash. And then then you move over to your Leona decks with Ravoon, and you have good and some bad ones with him in there. But those decks that don't have him, it's just as these decks improve, we're gonna find ourselves in these games to where we just have these like really big Daybreak boards, but no way to end the game. And he's the one that lets us come out here and like chain a bunch of spells together, and get like the humongous Morning Lights that activate all of our Daybreaks and draw us a bunch of cards and stun a bunch of units. He's just the kind of the key to all that. But with this hand, against a lot of decks, I'll advocate for hanging on to Twisted Fate, not against Thresh Nasus. He's not going to easily find a bunch of boards that he can just like AoE on, or units that he can kill with Gold Card like we did with that Echo. This is not a premier matchup for Twisted Fate. But we're out here doing that aggro thing. that thing all the kids are talking about. Not a bad start. Okay. Getting a Vengeance is good. There it is. There's a play. Let's get the Sunforger down. Alright, well we're just gonna go for it. Like, he's gotta block something, and we're just gonna throw Blessing at Targon down. Gotta get all these damages in. Because ideally now, he's just gonna be playing there's like a big unit that we can hopefully just take down with Vengeance. Really take advantage of this awkward draw. So I'd say they definitely don't have Vengeance now. They just took damage from the Stomper. I don't feel like they would ever really want to just, drop Thresh here. Curious what these hooks look like now. I mean, I assume these are going to come in and take our 2/2s or our 2 health units, but now his Thresh hook would have to go on to, say, like the Black Market Merchant. Because like the idea I'm starting to piece together is like, what if we just let all this stuff with Thresh happen, and then we just look to Vengeance whatever our opponent's blocker is? Or in the same vein, we could just add the Eye of Rahorok next turn, or this turn, to stun all of his units. I mean, this does end with him having a flipped Thresh. It's like, how bad is it for us? Like, we just can't get enough of these cards on board after the fact, though. But I think this is okay. if we just go for the eye play. So now we have new questions, and do we want to add units to this board? So if like opponent's play is Vengeance, I think this is good. I think we do want to add the unit. So now if his play was say like Nasus, we still beat Nasus. He needs a bigger spell. Yep. I'd say there's still potential for him to get out of this if he has like an unspeakable horror or something. Quicksand doesn't do it. Okay. So it was like, I was thinking to myself if we should say play a Zenith Blade to try to get around a 1 damage drain, but it's also pretty easy for them to just add another unit to the board. So, all right. Well, here's our third Leona along with the Ravoon. Feels good. Feels good. Nice to do that aggro thing when you need to. And after all those trials yesterday, I feel like we just need more Trifarian Glory Seekers in this style of deck. It'll be good to go. So many games where we just had like 3 Glory Seekers on the board along with quick attacks and just nugging people for 10. Feels good. All these people that talk about wanting to sit around and play control decks and get into some kind of 40-minute mirror match, they really just need to know how good it feels once you have the Glory Seekers going. What up, Henry? Welcome. Making it to our early morning streams. Yeah, no, not enough 5-1s today. But all right, here come the dragons. Are these all premium? There's just the Garen. This guy knows how to play. Let me click on that. Looks like it's just the Garen. Oh, the Aurelian Soul too. Man, somebody knows what's up. All right, I'm just going to start running them out. This is the curve that gets you a flipped Leona on turn 4. And so we don't have her yet, but we do have 3 copies, so I'd like her to be flipped as soon as she's available. Speaking of the devil.
Come hither, you beasts of glory, clad in shining sunlight.
This is a little worrisome. Not being able to immediately deal with like Shyvana or the 4/4 dragon. It's going to shut down our board pretty quick. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. This one's kind of interesting. It's like as we're being, aggressive like this, it makes me want to take the Golden Sister just for the elusive, but it's probably not super safe. I'm just going to pick up the Traveler. So if we get a handful more damage in, that we can hopefully just kill with one of the big spell shielded elusives.
She was born from the mountain. The dawn has arrived. With its light, the sun. I am the bulwark against darkness.
All right. Well, this is definitely going to be a big morning light curve. This is going to be going to be quite strong. This is going to eat the spell shield on the fused firebrand here, so he can come in and hit us for 8. But after this open for a morning light should be huge next turn. Is that enough? Do we feel good about that? It's going to stun these two, the Shyvana and the Firebrand. Because the other kind of option we have is to just drop Eye of Raharok and then go for it on our following turn. Which I'm kind of liking a little bit more. Because if we just like go for it this turn, he still gets to play a unit after the fact, and then we're not guaranteed to be able to take any of this stuff down. So let's do this. Let's do add the Eye. We'll have space on our board next turn for a Sunforger, or we can just try and take down his biggest unit with Twisted Fate for a turn. I think this is going to give us enough time to get into a better Morning Light. Okay. Interesting in the +1/+1. Is he going to single combat down our Leona? Like, why would he go ahead and play this? He could have just kept the mana, right? It's a burst. It's a spell. Right. How does this go? The two small ones are stunned. If we Morning Light, I'm looking to try and find a way to stun this Screeching Dragon. May not even need to. Our other option is just try and get Twisted Fate going. But he's only got 2 mana. This is so odd to me. That's why these dragons have grown. Like the spells he could have, like if he has a Sharp Sight. I haven't seen a Sharp Sight out of one of these dragons decks in quite a while though. It's just like everything that we put together falls apart if he's able to take down our Leona. All right. Just go for the single stun instead of 2. Okay, that's manageable. So how are we gonna do this next turn though? We're gonna pop his 2 smallest ones with the Eye. We're gonna Morning Light, which will hit the next 2 big ones. So leave him with 1 unit that we should be able to take down with Twisted Fate. If we have 9 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We can just pass. Do have to worry about the likes of another single combat, but this should get us close. It may not be a lethal, but we should go up to 20 again, and then potentially be able to get the takedown with the invoke. That's lethal unless he has another card. Needs a single combat. Got him. Ooh, that's scary. That was a little closer than I wanted. I wasn't expecting him to be able to take down so many of our units on his turn. I thought we were going to be able just to ignore that attack and just get him with all of our little dudes growing. Okay, well, Black Market Merchant, you've put in your work for the day, but we get to upgrade you into a soldier. Easy peasy. Oof. Ooh, okay. This is the complete opposite of that first trial yesterday. I was looking at how long the stream had been going on for. We're getting ready to push an hour. Say that first 7 winner, and yesterday's stream got done in under an hour. Feels quite nice to pull those off. But here, with this is kind of an odd one in the sense that we would like to play this flipped Leona on 4 Essus action, but we don't have as additional copies of Zenith Blade. And so I was going to say, maybe we can just hopefully by the 3rd turn find another Daybreak, and we did it. Good job. Go us. It's like I'm kind of tempted just to play the Soldier, though, because I'd rather have the Shield Bearer as a blocker next turn. So if he plays action or something here, we can still get in good blocks. Okay. You're welcome to hook the Shield Bearer. Now I think we just want to open. Like, we're fine to trade either of these units for action, or I'm fine to trade either of them for a combat trick. But I want to start using our Leona stun next turn. And so this is a reasonable enough place to just drop Mountain Scryers to try and get our board going. These cards suck. Tempted just to take a Moon Silver. But we might need the card draw off of the Messenger. The other thing I guess to kind of think of is we are building up to a Morning Light, and we could potentially get a Morning Lit Serpent. How do we do this? Like, this turn we're gonna play Leona, or this coming turn. Now let's just take the card draw. Doesn't feel right. It's every time I see Moon Silver, that's the one that I always want. It's just a lot of times when it comes to these cheap invokes, it feels like the best one. Oh jeez. All right. Well, he's gonna definitely be able to pick on our early board. But gonna get a value attack on our 2/2 and an action hook on our 3/2. But I don't like how we've done this anymore. Maybe we should have just like opened with action on the previous turn to put the vulnerable, or opened with the hired gun to put the vulnerable on action, and then just played the startled stomper. It's like I'm always just worried about them playing 3/3s and having it be awkward for us. But it's like we feel pretty far behind now. Maybe not. Maybe we just get our full board this turn.
Seeing tombs, towns, and everything in between.
I'll become who I was always meant to be.
Don't you see your face in her stars?
Okay, so we can do one of these. I assume he doesn't want to block with Tayari, but otherwise, who is the worst one? Right, if we attack with everything, he's going to put the boost onto... he's going to block Mountain Scryer. So let's boost something that isn't Mountain Scryer. So the best non-Mountain Scryer unit is the Startled Stomper.
You lost? Brave and dumb. My desert, my rules.
Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yes, you gotta get the Daybreak for all the stuns. This is awkward with him having the spell shielded unit. I mean, we can just like potentially just come in and block this thing. I mean, like we have the option just to add Sunforger here. I think I like this. We'll add Sunforger, then we can just start playing Leona next turn. This is why it's always so important to have the Ravoons on the board. He makes these things so much easier when you can get more than one Daybreak in a turn. Okay. Sure.
Fixing the world one scoundrel at a time.
Yeah, it feels like feels like we should be farther ahead than this. It's felt like we were doing okay there, but right. So that's fine. We lose Tayari. This we get to trade out for the Ruin Runner and then take some damage. Okay. Maybe we should have gotten a block with a hired gun, but I just have it in my head that we'll get to do that. This is gonna be a block that happens soon. We just need to make it to our next turn though.
Sunlight blinds.
Like keeping these startled stompers feels fairly important when our opponent's at 7 and we're trying to get these overwhelms in. Maybe we just need to go for it this turn. Let's see what they play. Like if they just play a big dude, how bad is that? Do we lethal here? Oh, we lose out on our morning light. I was like, all right, we can still just do this with morning light. That doesn't appear to be the case.
Divine light shines within me. Unwavering.
Okay, I think this is our safest attack. I don't want him just throwing action in front of hired gun and getting a takedown. So this is a little dangerous with our Leona taking some damage, but looks like he may just have a replacement. Okay.
Good people don't look the other way. We playing bilge rules, son?
No Daybreak, unfortunately. That would have been pretty big if we got a stun on the Bone Crusher. Okay, so he's not going to get the Warlord's Horde till post-combat. Alright, then let's get the best of the blocks where we can. So this is an easy one. How do we look at these other ones though? We probably just need to trade away this. Like, do we have to just do it like this? I mean, Leona's probably too good if we have if we pick up a Daybreak. This does wear away at some of their health. Okay. So let's him pick up his biggest unit, draw 2 or spell shields everywhere. Okay, this is probably probably a little out of reach, just barely out of reach, I think. But oh, that's right, he didn't. Oh, that's how he gets it. I was like, he didn't attack with action, so he doesn't get the Sentinel's Horde, but he got the lucky strike, the lucky find off the strike. All right, deck, give us some good. Make it rain, and Tayari are not the good that we were looking for here. Okay. All right, fine.
The skies darken.
Let's see. This could be our our finally our last Ravoon. I don't like having more than 3, but it seems like a reasonable upgrade over Tyari. Tyari's just not very good. Rain for Sunforger, it's slot. I would like to trade away Slotbot, but definitely not for Dragon's Clutch. It's always so weird. Like once you picked up one dragon, the game is like, oh shit, you're all about these guys, aren't you? I could tell you want some dragon cards because you've got one. Amongst your 36 cards, you have 2. I see. You definitely want to have some dragons. Okay. Okay. What do we got? Okay, the old Freylord Allegiance. This is a deck I used to really like in the past, until they took away all of the Avarosian Outriders, the Allegiance unit. They didn't take them all away, but like one of them does still live with I think Frozen Solid Ash, but there used to be like 4 or 5 buckets that had it in, and now there's only like 2 or 3. So it's much more challenging to actually find them.
My faith protects me.
A chill in the air.
Really wish we had another Zenith Blade.
Clad in shining sunlight.
All right,
The power of the immortal
let's keep it going.
sunlight lines.
Winter take you.
That's a pretty high probability chance that we just end up trading one of these units for a brittle steel, which is fine. I'd rather go ahead and drain them out now as opposed to later. This might work out in our favor if his big plan here is to frostbite Leona and take her down with the Rhymefang Wolf, and we're able to protect with the Blessing of Targon.
Think not.
Oh, what kind of chances are we working with here? I mean, he gets the guaranteed hit with Ash. It's just like if we like overinvest in this, it's such a problem. I think it's okay if we end up losing our Leona. Like our alternative plan here is to like just add Pull Shark and then maybe try and Blessing of Targon in the middle of combat. But this is like a humongous problem if he attacks with Ash, gets the Frostbite onto Leona, then we play Blessing of Targon, and then they have a Flash Freeze. Like, it's just so humongously bad. This is fine. It's not ideal losing her, but having all that happen mid-combat would be so problematic. Okay. Then I don't think we need to add Pull Shark. I'm pretty cool with our next turn just adding White Flame Protector, and then banking up some more mana. Where this would be a reasonable place to add a Pull Shark now. Okay.
Playing bilge rules, son.
When we have to just take the 7 hit. I mean, we can prevent a touch of it with the Pull Shark, but we can't let this Ravoon fade away.
Daylight everlasting.
All we need is time now. Let's just pass. We'll see what we can pick up with the Priestess if we can hit any of the removal spells would be great. Ooh. Ooh. The times have changed.
Daylight breaks on the battlefield. Glorious light rains down.
I don't intend on attacking here, I don't think. champion? We just have Twisted Fate left, right? This is oh, that is a physical Morning Light. Let's take Written in the Stars.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
What's going on? Why he's not just not playing anything? Do you just have literally just have like combat tricks in hand?
Our strength is forever at its zenith.
Blessed daylight surrounds you.
Weird. Okay. This will hopefully just be a big shutdown next turn. Has to be the likes of a Harsh Winds, right? Okay, Flash Freeze.
This would be a good winter.
Got another one. That's my worry when they have another one. He like with him just passing last turn, he has to have just a hand completely full of combat tricks, right? Wow, why would you Troll Chant? Just to save your unit? Okay. So how can we like just stun out his whole board here? I don't think so. We can play Morning Light for 2 stuns. Right, this is 1 Daybreak plus the Leona gets the second copy. We can add... How much mana do we have? 12? This will be 5... 6, that's 11. That gets us really close. Okay, let's do as much as we can. Don't want more Written in the Stars. I think we just take the Golden Sister here. Just in case they start getting close to having big Overwhelm plays. I feel like we're never going to lethal this turn, though. I think they've probably got like a Harsh Winds in their hand or something. So that'll get the stun onto Wild Claw. Then with our Morning Light, it should get the stun onto the Rime Tusk Shaman and the Wolf. Drawing 4 cards in the process. But yeah, I think ultimately we're going to make this attack. He's going to Harsh Winds our Leona and our 7/7 and then just not die this turn. But even with 2 blocks, we're like with just blocks, I think we can do it, right? Because our Leona is such a big overwhelm. Yeah, he could prevent 14. No, we'd be 1 short.
My spirit shines.
Piercing rays.
Yeah, you can put the Seer in front of Ravoon. Oh, what's this? Harsh Winds. There it is. I was waiting on it. Yeah, so much value, right? This must be while we enjoy attacking with 5/1s for 2 mana. This must be what those control deck players like doing. Just attacking, drawing a million cards off of the one here. Okay, we gotta throw away our Ravoons at this point.
Gaze into the light.
Okay, so how do we get this one going here? We can start to like Written in the Stars again. I think that's probably how we want to go about it. Worry about some of these units though. It's like I also feel like we really want to get Golden Sister going on this board. The kind of like second choice is like, can we just play the Traveler and hit a big game ender? Crescent Strike feels close, but I think we just want the go wide unit here.
What once was 2 now is 1.
And Ash. Okay. This is scary. We might have ended up losing this one here. Like we can take down the Ash with Sunburst, that's fine, but the Crystal Arrow starts to be problematic.
Ice runs in our veins.
This is my big worry is this Alpha Wild Claw over here. Okay.
Look to the sky. The frost reveals all to me.
Yeah, we can't answer this. He can hook out our big units. Well, maybe we can get away from it. Because he can't hook both our Golden Sister and our Fused Firebrand. Let's see, if they play a card here and we get to pick up Written in the Stars Leona, or even a Written in the Stars Twisted Fate, that would be huge.
You gotta believe me!
Witness divinity.
Is that how we do it? I think we need to do it like this. So if he has the Frostbite for our Golden Sister, then we just don't die. So this way he only overwhelms for 3. Okay, let's get our squad back. Or I mean, would we rather just try and Mountain Scry? I could see this going either way. We're a little far away from getting a big overwhelm lethal though. The eyes would feel pretty good coming in a couple turns from now, though. So let's do this. Let's add the eye. And we'll Written in the Stars. Oh, geez. Okay. Ash and Anivia. So it's like we gotta win the game on this next attack. We hit Twisted Fate instead of Leona, which is quite painful. Now, if we want to, if we want to hit one of the, if we wanted to get the Leona in hand, we have to play the second Written in the Stars. But I mean, you can't just kill us with Anivia. I think the big problem here was that he could have ways to come in with Ash. So the thing I'm trying to look at is like, can we just play a second Eye of Raharok and stun enough of his board next turn just to keep the game going? But I don't think that seems likely. I mean, what can we even hit with this Mountain Scryer at this point, though? We haven't. I don't think we have. We played enough Celestials. I think our answer has to be in the Mountain Scryer. These other cards don't look like they're going to do it. Maybe we get to Supernova. Maybe. He's just gonna open. Can't come in for 11 here. I mean, we can just add a second eye. That could be our other way to try and go about this. I don't think it's gonna be enough. All right, let's see where that gets us. Maybe they do. Maybe they do something weird and don't open, and we can get him with a Supernova. But I think this one's probably done. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we can't technically just block both of these, right? He doesn't have a Crystal Arrow.
Believe or burn.
Okay, okay. I don't think he got an arrow because that's when she flips, right? So we have 12. We can Written in the Stars. That'll get us our last Leona. Let's go ahead and add the Charger. Well, the thing that's going to get awkward for us is that he's going to be able to just probably play more cards here. Okay. And a Shaman. Do we ever just pop these Rhyme Tusk Shamans and try to go wider than him? I don't think we can do that. I don't think we have enough enough stats for that kind of thing. Okay.
The frost reveals all to me.
Alright, that thing makes me feel a little bit better. Just a little bit. And we can definitely get Leona down. We can start doing Daybreak stuns next turn. That all feels nice. Leona's never attacking. Well, we can do this. I mean, we can... Do we want a gold card now, or do we want to save the gold card for later? The rest of these attacks aren't that great when he's got this Rhyme Tusk Shaman on the board. Okay. Got you so big as well.
Divine light shines within me.
And what here has the most stats? Startled Stomper. Okay. Because we can put Startled Stomper in front of the Wild Claw and not die. We are going to lose our Leona to this Wild Claw, I guess. Maybe that was a little sloppy, but... thought we were going to be able to do a little bit more with this. I didn't want them to just be opening on us. Yeah, that was probably a big mistake. No obliterate on the overwhelm. Which one? Oh, you meant on the Wild Claw instead of hitting one of the two champions? Oops, how... Okay, so we can add the wolf here. Gonna get stuns on two of our bigs. Okay, then Usgar will be good next turn.
Ice runs in our veins.
Sharpen tusks on ribs. A true Freljordian welcome.
Lame. So do we just have to take down his wolf now? I think we probably do. We can't have this thing just challenging down our Usgars the rest of the way.
Stay back.
Okay. I think we're building up to it. We're building up to come back maybe. Okay. What up, organic chicken? Welcome to the morning.
They're out there. I'll spot 'em.
Unyielding light.
Safeguard our homes.
All right, I guess we gotta block some of this stuff.
You cannot sway me.
We can get wider than him now.
Light the signal fires.
We missed an attack with this thing? Can't remember if this was able to attack last turn. I don't think it was.
I'll shoot the wings off a bilge wasp.
And we can also get these hooks with Usgar, even if he's frostbitten. We can get a hook onto something. Let's see where we're at. Like the sisters definitely coming in. I guess it comes down to, we want to use a stun this turn. I think we probably want to save the stuns for his attacks. But yeah, we can hook something here with Usgar. I think we probably just want to start slamming these 3/3s in. We gotta get like some kind of damage going through and wearing these units down. So it's like, you're coming in, you're coming in, you're coming in. We can put an Usgar hook onto like this, because the units we want to wear down are the whatever these are called, the shamans.
You'll make a fine totem.
That's about par for the course. Having the harsh winds come in as the top deck. Alright, but I think we're still okay-ish here. We just need to get a couple more blockers on the board.
All unbelievers will see the light.
The frost reveals all to me.
We're getting real close to flipping this Twisted Fate. Yeah, I didn't think that was something that was like really on the table, but apparently it is. Okay.
No mercy for heretics.
Came a long way for a bullet.
Flash freeze. You got it.
One foot in front of the other.
All right, we're making progress. Things are happening. Oh, the morning light. That's what's gonna seal the deal here. Okay. Jeez.
Ice runs in our veins.
I was like, just play a unit. I didn't want that. I didn't want that unit to be babbling Bjerg.
Bounty board today.
There it is. Whew. Okay. That one feels like it was way closer than it ever had any business being, but we definitely played a little sloppy in there, but hey, it didn't also be to feel the rush. So. Nice. Yeah, that might have been the longest expedition game of all time. Not just the one that you've seen, but out of all the games ever done. Let's see. All right, Tyara, you served us well in that last game, but we gotta pick up the sunburst here. Yeah, I mean, 22-round game. That should realistically be like 3 games from us, right? If a game goes long, it's because like we didn't play Savage Reckoner until turn 8. I don't know why. Like when I was playing tons of Hearthstone, like there were people that loved playing like the 45-minute Control Warrior mirror matches, and like I just never got it. Like people just like wanting to sit around and just gain as much armor as possible and like just play until everyone was decked. And I was like, this is stupid. I don't know. I don't know why anyone finds fun in this, but apparently like 8 people did. And so it was like when I was playing, I would play a bit of Control Warrior. Like I never intended on like playing it over and over again, but it was always something to where I mean, we could trade. I was hoping we could perhaps find another unit, but the Sunbreak train is stopping. But no, it's like it's important, I think, in Constructed to at least understand what the other decks are doing. And so, while I had no intention of just like playing Control Warrior over and over again, it's kind of important to see the deck from other people's perspective. And I would just queue into Warrior and just concede. Like it was not worth the time whatsoever. All right, well, we got to spend a Sunburst here. I mean, we could try to draw units out of our opponent's deck. This hand is so awkward. What are these champions? Sivir and LeBlanc. All right, well, we can't Sunburst to Sivir anyways. Brutal. This is not the way this deck wants to be going. Oh boy. Okay, I don't know if we can recover from that. We definitely need this slot bot to have 6 health next turn. It's just going to open on us. Didn't open. Interesting. I think we just got to be like ultimate greed mode now, right? Otherwise we're just never. We can't play this game and think like, okay, how can things go wrong and us still win? Like we're gonna take 8 this turn. I was gonna intend on blocking the Bloodthirsty Marauder. He didn't agree with that, but that was the plan. I was like, okay, well I'll just take the additional 2 damage to save our Ravoon, and then if they have a combat trick, we just lose the game. But all right, well, here's the chance to claw ourselves back to recovery. So I'm gonna Hired Gun, so it's guaranteed to hit the 3 attack unit and follow up with the Protector, so that we can hopefully just get some width here. Beautiful, beautiful against this.
Nothing's lost.
All right, Sivir's problems. We gotta find an answer to Sivir at some point. Does the eye break? No, that's not gonna put circles on. I don't think this puts circles on the board to break spell shields.
Bask in her radiant blessing. Business as usual. That heretic.
Okay.
Blood or gold. I always get my share.
All right, but I'm gonna get a unit on the board here and just bank the rest of the way. Like there was a world where we should have taken the like the meteor shower so we could try and take down this Sivir, but I just don't see us ever doing that, ever winning that way.
Daylight star will rule the skies.
Okay. All right. Well, not surprised that one went poorly. This is why I talk about that the soldier, the shield bearer, and the stun bird being the kind of tier 1 picks for this deck. You can't have draws like that. It's way too awkward. As we come out here and trade away more of our 2-drops to pick up the Zenith Blade. But yeah, that game is just way too tough to win when you can't do anything. Sunburst, I don't think that works. I think the spell shield still counters the spell before the silence happens. All right, opponent, where you at? Where you at? See if we get the Poro bot. Okay. Some kindred stuff, you say? Let's see. Let's see how quickly we can get salty here. But that's a little bit better of a start than in the previous game. I think this is another one where we just want to start running out the curve, so the soldier can come down, even though we're not going to do anything with it here. Then we'll plan on playing the shield breaker next turn. What happened with the steak problem? The barbecue problem? Well, there's kind of 2 pieces to that, and so the barbecue place that I wanted to get food from, it's called Joe's. It's the best barbecue in the world. They're closed on Sundays, which is problematic at some points whenever you get the urge for Joe's and then you realize it's the wrong day of the week. Now, some of you more astute viewers may realize that today is Sunday and yesterday was indeed not Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday, so Joe's was actually open. Now, I did realize this before disaster struck. I did realize what day of the week it was, and I could actually get the barbecue that was desired. But the problem we ran into was to get takeout. It was going to be like an hour and 15 minutes, and the way that this place works is, hang on, let me see here. I think we want to Sunhawk here just so we can get our flip, like just continue the curve with Leona into Ravun. The way this place works is it's in a gas station, and the line wraps around the building, and it usually takes, if you want to go that route, it's going to take you between like 45 minutes to an hour to wait through the line. And I'm not doing that. It was fucking like 97 degrees outside yesterday, and I wasn't going to stand in line for an hour. So the takeout choice was the only option. I was going to have to like wait over an hour to get it, and I was hungry, and so I just didn't get it at the end of the day. And now I can't get it today, so it's going to be it's going to be like a next week problem. But I'm at least glad that I realized that it was indeed not Sunday, and so we had the option to get it, but then we could have gotten it and made the decision not to, and so that's why I felt okay about the end result. All right, but back to this. I mean, he's playing kind of the Slayer style deck, so I do want to wear down as much of this board as we can, and so we're just going to continually try to get these units off the board. I want to take away their ability to play Spirit Leeches and the ability to play Blighted Caretakers, things like the Ether Fiend. I want this board gone as much as we can do. And so that's kind of the idea here, is we'll try to wear this down as much as possible. Yeah, I mean, the day of the week, it can be tough. I knew it was the weekend, and so that was the bonus. The thing that always gets me is, come on, bud, come on, is when it's like a holiday and I don't realize it, and so it's like you just show up to work for no reason. That is always the most brutal of outcomes. With this, what's our mana situation here? We got 6. We'll have 7 next turn, but we won't want to play Eclipse Dragon for 2 more turns. So I say we get our Overwhelmer going here. He's going to get good blocks on some of this stuff. We can heal back the drains, but he's probably going to have to be blocking with his not Neverglade Collector units. I wanted to heal that back. Okay. Still bringing it. Again, with this strategy of trying to just keep their units off the board, I'm fine to take some drains from the Caretaker. Okay. There's the Sunburst. Is this one of these worlds where we just like lose our Leona here? We got a 2 and 3 chance of stunning one of these saplings as well. Oh no, it's going to go to mana cost it, and it's going to go to the Scribe. Okay. Did it just stop everything? We didn't get our Leona stun either. Oh, that kind of sucks. But at least the idea that we have with this turn, or I guess I should say next turn, is we can Daybreak the Solari Soldier, and then follow up with the Nightfall on the Eclipse Dragon. Just have a huge board here. I think, again, like he's spent all his Blighted Caretakers now. I can't imagine Leona's going to be long for this world if he keeps coming at them like this. But it seems like he's only going to have like a Vile Feast or a Unspeakable Horror or something to try and take her down. Otherwise, he would have hooked in Ravun, right?
We will not suffer unbelievers.
They will not escape punishment.
She's just got to stop attacking at this point, I guess. Unfortunately, till we can find a morning light.
Bask in the light's radiance.
Okay. Interesting. So we don't want them getting slays. So I don't want to attack with the shield breaker. Like these are the easy attacks. The question is, do we want to attack with Ravoon? Probably not. I think it's a little risky to send him in. Not too many tricks that they could ever have here, but don't want to be losing him. Okay. But we're pretty well fashioned to not so much handle this Kindred as much as have enough sacrificable units to where he's not the end all be all of problems here. Okay, that slay thing has been managed. How much more do we want to add here? Like I think we want to get the Screeching Dragon going. Let's hang on to Stun so if we do draw the Morning Light, that'll get us an additional stun before we attack. Now I think we're ready now. Oop, go on, bud. Just pivot to be in the Dragon's deck, right? Ravoon, you are interesting. I don't think that's what we can be doing here. Can't just be throwing away like all of our board. Here comes a vengeance. Withering Whale. Okay, I was expecting that a while ago, but it never showed up. Good. So we lost our challenger. That sucks, but wiping out their kindred is a big problem number one to solve. Oh geez. So hit Ravoon and Stunbird. So we can't replay it. Oh, we do still have the Daybreak. Okay. Not the one we're really looking for, but this is Nightfallen, so we get the Daybreak card in our hand. Go ahead and throw that one down. Okay. So if we don't lose our Eclipse Dragon, we potentially have a kill next turn with Cygnus. It's a little scary. You know, I don't want to count on that, but potential. It's too easy for these decks to have removal spells and take it down. Playing bilge rules. And I don't want to just take the 8. This is a little too scary against a deck that could be playing Atrocity. So we're gonna throw some stuff in front of this, but not our Eclipse Dragon. What's better, random Daybreak or random Nightfall? I mean, Thresh. Okay. I don't know. Like the things that seem like the most important that she could be hitting would be. Oh, geez, we drew the Mind Splitter. Are we just going to go for it this turn, or do we need to Mind Split like the Thresh Rasa? I think we probably just want to go for it. So we can still Priestess and then Cygnus. I'll comment. But I mean, I think in general, it's probably the Daybreak ones. Like the Daybreak late game tends to just be a lot better than the Nightfall late game cards. But I've always looked at that card as just being an activator for those abilities that replaces itself. And so it's never like super exciting to be there's the removal. It's never super exciting to be like picking up that random card because it's usually not the one that you want. But I don't think that there's typically like a better one, right? But you're typically just using it to say like, okay, well, I need to get a Nightfall effect, and this kind of lets me do it for free, or I need to get a Daybreak effect, and this lets me do it for free. And then the other card is just kind of the payoff for doing that. Definitely coming out here and flipping that thresh, huh? Okay. Oh.
Back, heretic.
We can lethal next turn with this Ravoon. Depends on what our opponent does here, but we can definitely answer this Thresh with our 2 removal spells. Then have Ravoon on the board. Yeah. Okay. It's like now I want the oh shit. It's like now I want the the Moondreamer back or whatever that was. I want to take the Traveler over the thing. Okay, Written in the Stars will do it. Can't play it this turn.
Written in the stars. Cosmos call.
Okay, and here's our Make It Rain. Kind of want to wait till next turn to Make It Rain so the Curse Keeper can potentially get hit in combat. But we'll see. Let's see what comes out of this. Just draw Leona.
Everyone's a garden.
Unyielding light.
All right, let's see what that hits. Did it really hit the 2 saplings? I don't know if I think that's good or bad. Because he okay. Huh. Oh, what a game! It's like I wonder if he's just building to the atrocity. That's such a weird set of cards to have happen there. LOL. I bet that dude is pissed. I mean, realistically, well, I mean, we weren't guaranteed to pick out Twisted Fate there, but if Twisted Fate could AoE their board, then we probably would have won that game anyways. Oh, that's a way to do it. So with these, I don't really want to make any of these trades. I'm happy with 3 Ravoons, and we have to keep some amount of our 2-drops. So we'll let that one go. The Cloven Way, we don't have. It's good, but we don't have combos with it here. And then we definitely don't have good things for Out of the Way. If we play Out of the Way and then we have like a Morning Light to keep all of our buffs on everything, we probably already won the game at that point anyways. So we'll skip over that one. Zoe for Twisted Fate's kind of interesting, but I mean, if we can trade out the slot bot for the Priestess, I think that feels a little bit better. Zoe, interesting. I mean, I'm not opposed to having these Twisted Fates in our deck, but I think getting the Sunburst was a little bit more important. And here, the Sunhawk is perfect. Looking good. The Twisted Fate for Aphelios. I'm not a huge fan of Aphelios here. I'll let that one stay. Just our late game is good enough between like having all the Ravoons and everything. I don't think sitting around playing Moon Weapons at that stage is going to get us there. I think the important part is like getting to the late game, and Twisted Fate helps a little bit more in that sense. So we'll skip over these. And our last one. All right. Well, you've served us well, Pole Shark, but it just finally picking up our second Zenith Blade is a pretty big deal. Okay. Yes, let's get out of here, Twisted Fate. I can tell you're done with the Bilgewaters. That's weird. You don't see the champion trades come up too frequently. Double check this Tarek Riven. Okay, we'll pass on Zenith Blade. I can say in this style of deck, this is always a go tall deck. We want Sunbursts and we want Leonas, and we need our Leonas to be flipped. So, however, the best way for us to get to that end is what we need.
Ours is the one true light.
Unyielding light.
And we'll see what we draw. If it's nothing too interesting, then we'll just go with making the Shield Bearer a 4/4. And I really like taking down their units in these games, so I'm actually just going to go with the hired gun. Because what we see against these Tarek decks, I mean, it may just be a Riven deck here, but I just kind of call it the Tarek tax, as to where if you can clear out their board, then they have to play both a unit and a spell in the same turn. And it really kind of limits their options. And so, ideally for him and what he's able to do now that he has the Shield Bearer is he can play Tarek this turn and he can play a spell and get in a good attack. And we're trying to take that away from him.
Break the ties that bind.
It's I never pay Riven any respect. Maybe we should and just go ahead and Sunburst her. We're pretty far away from this Leona being flipped. It's like I'm just thinking it's like, well, her ability doesn't matter until next turn, so if we just wait until next turn we can do something, but let's just get it out of the way. Oh, and that's how we get punished, right? Make us draw more Zenith Blades. I think I like this though. Let's just open. Not worry about trying to get a Leona attack in this turn, but I do want to play her this turn. And then next turn, we can try and shut down their attacks with the Shield Bearer.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Somebody's been watching the videos. They know. All right. Well, we gotta pivot now.
Trespass on sacred lands, unbeliever.
Can't just throw our Leona down in front of the Glory Seeker. Can definitely just stun it now. That's probably the stun target that we get when we drop her, but
When will I find peace? The dawn has arrived. Behold the divine power of the sun.
yeah, you behold that divine power of the sun. So yeah, I'm not real excited about this board. They can't play Riven Swords, right? This is just the second Reforged that they've gotten. But this is one of the problematic things that we run into. It's like we've already played our Sunburst. We have to kind of count on. Okay, so he's got both quick attack and +2 attack in hand. But yeah, we can't count on a lot to go right here with our Riven and such. Or is it just going to be a weapon hilt? Weapon hilt's surprisingly okay. Yeah. So I mean, we got 2 sharpened resolves and a Trifarian Glory Seeker out of that, so not horrible. And if we just kind of hang on to this Leona for a little bit, we really have 3 Zenith Plates now. I mean, we got 3 in our hand. But no, knowing that we have this other Leona, we can hopefully see them play like Riven Sword next turn and then just stun that unit, and then re-stun it the next turn with Infinite Mind Splitter. But this is the big problem that you run into with these decks is, when your interactivity package is like hoping that our stun happens and then hoping that you get to do something with this dragon. it's not super ideal.
Is that all I am to you?
Okay, he's got a thought he was just going to play cards here this turn, but if the best that he's doing is, getting a value hook onto a hired gun or quick attack challenging down one of our 2-drops, then I'm quite okay with that. At least going to play like the Overwhelm Fragment. This seems like such a waste of an attack. Okay. I played a big unit. Then do we want to go ahead and Zenith Blade? Guess we can wait until next turn before making that decision.
First light illuminates the land. The sun's splendor reveals.
How scary is Tusk Raider? It's like I don't want to really get either of our units into combat with this thing on board. It's like it's so easy for opponent to have a combat trick. I guess it's like if we keep the Mind Splitter back, it's okay. And maybe we just go at it with our Leona. Otherwise, we can just try and buy some time. Maybe we just buy time here. Look towards things like the Great Beyond. I don't feel like this is too greedy. We also have like the bird option next turn to try and get these double stuns going.
For truth.
Prove.
Whatever the cost.
If he just doesn't play any pre-combat cards, I'm just going to take it. He needs to spew a lot of stuff out here. So, I mean, this would put us into Decimate range. I don't think we can play around a Decimate. Okay, got the Overwhelms everywhere. Yeah, this is one of these spots where I ultimately worry about if we come in here and block and then they have a combat trick. Like, say we block the Armored Tusk Raider and then he has Whirling Death or something. It's just so bad for us. Like, I think we just have to be like, okay, well, if you got the if you got the Decimate, then you got us. Otherwise, we'll take our chances.
Arm yourselves with holy sunlight.
Okay. So we do get to just. I don't think we open this turn. He's going to fall down to 2 units. Like, the Stunbird definitely gets to deal with 2 things here. We pick up Blessing of Targon, though. So stop the 2 bigs, so all we'll have is the Shade Stalker. He gets to play a unit. Then his best block is going to be on Mind Splitter and Leona, since the Great Beyond has Overwhelm. So that's going to get us to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 with the Shield Bearer. Don't currently have to worry about too much stuff, but I think we The problem with adding Zenith Blade is he can add another unit to the board, but I think this is probably still safe. Like we can get through Whirling Deaths with the Blessing of Targon.
A blade forged with blessed sunlight.
Follow the path.
Unwavering strength.
He's certainly got some kind of trick though, right? If he's not adding units to the board, he could have been trying to overwrite the Sunforger with something. I think this is going to be him playing like a combat trick and then trying to like Whirling Death the Mind Splitter or something.
Daylight is unrelenting.
But we can still beat that.
Not eternal.
Must we fight?
That's got Overwhelm. Whenever you see him shifting the units around, that's always a positive sign, right? Got him in neg 1. And there it is. So, a little sloppy, you know. We definitely had some non-perfect playthrough out there, but good enough to get us there. I liked our strategy in that one. Just you can see how scary that is, though, right? If your strategy is okay, I'm just gonna play the Infinite Mind Splitter on on our opponent's units and hope that they play like a Riven Sword and then we can just stun it. Like those matchups are tough. Like I can't imagine that we were a favorite in that final round there, but. Hey, you know, we got there in the end. Again, you know, I think you get to really kind of see the importance of how we tier off these decks and the picks in this deck. You can see where the importance is. We got ridiculously smashed in that game where we just had no early game, and so the Shield Bearer, the Soldiers, and the Stunbirds are kind of your top picks. But you definitely have to have some way to interact with your opponent's stuff, and that's your only option is Sunburst. And so you got to kind of pick these Sunbursts really high. You can live with one. I typically like to have 2 or 3. But then you can always try and pick up additional removal with the Solari Priestess. It's just super slow to have to do it that way. So glad we got there in the end. There were definitely some real close ones in that. It's definitely not our biggest face roll of the trial. But I think that is going to do it for us today. I'm getting hungry. This draft took a couple hours because Leona takes forever to play, and I don't think I'll have the time to get in an additional one. So we're gonna call it there. You know, everybody that was able to make it out to the streams, that was